setting that up. She wants you to redo for the presentation, where you're showing, what is it, like the last 2 years? Or not for the amendments, not for the amendments, but for the budget workshops. She wants the old format that we had week before you.
It was like
I know I sent it to you.
And then what was actual, what we've done, and then what we would go for, I don't know, there was something like that, there were 3 years.
And then, like, last year you had to have 3 budgets, unless it's on each line. That's what she did.
It's easier, John, for us just to go down the line and go through all that.
And now we can see what we did the last 2 years anyway. We got the back row covered.
Yeah, we do. It's like church.
Sit in the front row.
I guess so. It's in Excel, I believe. It's kind of like what you sent us for the budget, but you've got more columns. And if you put it on legal, it would work out really good that way.
Front row, huh?
Apparently. It's like school, nobody wants to go in the front.
Well, they got the back loaded.
John, did you get my email about being?
Yep.
Yes, I sent it up. Or I
Okay.
got it ready to
Okay, thank you.
The newsletter should be coming out. I should be starting at it was mailed yesterday. So you should be all getting it soon.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order and rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Remember that with the next favor.
And it's babies.
And it's babies, yeah. All right, roll call, Joan.
Rod, here. Nicole,
Here.
Dave, here. Carolyn,
Here.
Deb.
Here. Okay, road repairs. Carolyn, you called this, so you're up.
Yep, I have had, I went to that new, I don't even know what that new finish is that you had said we were going to consider. I don't know what the name of it is.
High density black rock.
Okay. I went down to Range Line Road, and that was done this spring
In June.
and June, and it's already got potholes. So I called the town chairman and I said, well, what's the deal with this? So what are you gonna do about it? He said, well, we don't know yet because we're trying to figure it out. So, so then that was when I thought maybe we better do some different thinking here on what we're doing.
It didn't have any potholes when I went down there.
Well, it's
I
got
didn't see
big
any.
it had potholes now. I mean, this was right after the meeting the other night.
You went down there too? Kurt?
There was a washboard in a few spots, that was about it.
Yeah.
Didn't see any potholes.
I didn't see any potholes.
I went down. But there again, it's a base course. You get some rain, you get a washboard that starts, you're gonna develop a pothole. It's no different than any other gravel road or base course road you got around here. You're gonna hit it, you gotta blade it every now and then. It's not a put it down and it turns the hot mixer concrete.
Yeah.
It's not a fix, it's not you do it once and it stays like that.
Well, why in the world would you do it in June and now have potholes in it though? Because I called the chairman today, and he
A
said,
lot of rain.
and he's, and he said, I don't know what we're gonna do about it.
Well,
We
when I
haven't
talked to
decided.
him- When I talked to him today, I told him that you had mentioned that there were potholes, and he said he just wrote that, he doesn't have any potholes on there.
Did we see potholes, Rob? We did. We drove, he
Well,
went down and I
that's what
did.
he told me. Kurt didn't see any.
Well, I'm not
She didn't see any. We do have a representative here from Comcast.
Oh,
Todd, can you tell us about that product, please?
What was that now?
I said, can you tell us about that product, please?
That product?
Yes.
Well, as far as much as I was told by Glenn and what I know about it is it's a natural stone. It is blasted. It's not coarse rock. So when you crush it, then it becomes a lot of natural fines, which is that what we're saying and seeing is what will be binding it together. So as far as if you say there was some potholes on it, I went down there actually this morning, and yes, there was a couple there. Now, they have not graded that, and that is a very heavily trafficked road. So, they, just like anything else, it's not going to be a concrete, it's not going to be a blacktop. It's something else versus when you get granite. So, we believe that it will hold up a lot better than what granite will.
than just regular granite.
Yes.
And what about chip seal?
Chip seals. It has to breathe, okay? So you can't have you have to have base course underneath it. So if you have chip seal underneath it, that has to come off. If you have cement underneath it, it has to come out. It has to mesh in with the product that's already there. So it has to draw moisture. Once you lose the moisture, then that's when all your fines, your dust, and everything starts to evaporate. So I guess I don't know about chip sealing it over it. I don't know if that would be feasible. I don't know if that'd be the best bang for the dollar. I don't know. That I can't tell you.
According to Glenn, it would make a good base to put under chip seal.
Okay.
What about the fines that are along the edges? I drove down there today with an implement tracker, and there were potholes in it.
Mhm.
And I'm concerned if we put it, anybody that would have cement driveways or blacktop, what about all that along the edge?
I guess it'd be no different than a main road, a main highway, like on 97, there's granite on the side and that stuff. A little bit too early to tell, I would say. on it.
So the jury on that particular mile or two, whatever it is still out. The jury is still out.
But you gotta keep in mind too, that is a heavily trafficked road.
Yeah, it's traveled quite extensively, yes. They also put on another area of the road, not that product, but they used an inch and a quarter base course, which came out of KRM, and that is more marbly. That's not the answer. That stuff there, you just go all over, so.
So my question, I think, is, well, why would we not consider having the present chip seal ground up and put new chip seal over it?
Do we have
And
the
that
money
would
for
last
it?
longer.
Do we have the money for it?
No, not this year, that's more. And also, according to the engineer, when we applied for that grant, you were down there, Dave. He said that road is terrible, and realistically, it should be reconstructed, where you take the crap out of it and redo that road completely.
There's a lot of roads in the township that are.
I'm just saying what he has said, you were there,
I was there, yes, I was there.
so.
Well,
The proposal is for Hadamar, Sherritt Creek, and Roman, is what's on the call, the agenda. It's that.
For road repair, Carolyn called this. I
That's
didn't.
fine.
no,
That's fine. Whoever did.
otherwise, Penny and Quincy, I've had people screaming at me about them too, so, I mean, so we've actually got five of
We
these.
got more than 5 roads that are bad in this township.
Well, there's more than that, but these
I
are
got a list, you want them?
Sure.
Sherritt Creek, Elm Tree, Hadamar, Quincy, Penny Lane, Gary Road, Red Hawk, Ruby.
I think the highway committee has been working on a plan also. Am I
Where's the
correct?
plan? I'd like to see, as a board member, I'd like to see the plan
I would
first.
too, as soon as they get it ready. They just got, when
Then
was it,
we're-
Monday
we're-
morning you guys went out and took a look at all these roads?
Monday we did.
Yeah.
Last week.
So may I ask the man from Kafka, do you have a plan to start doing this?
Well, we had figured on Monday, but we aren't gonna be able to because we don't have anybody that can operate a grader.
What happened there, Madam Chairman?
As far as I know, he quit. I was told by the county though, that Enrod, that he was retired. So, the county told me that. I was really impressed.
You want to share the rest with the public, what his,
His reasoning for quitting because he worked in a hostile environment with me.
John, were there any reports from Pat about a hostile environment,
No.
verbally or written?
so we're going to get to work.
Pardon?
That's not even on the agenda. We're here to talk about these.
Well, that's what we put the ad out for, is to find somebody.
Okay.
Did we approve an ad? Don't we have to have approval to post an ad, put out for bid?
What would be
for
the
that?
common thing to do, is to post an ad, right, when somebody
Correct,
leaves?
yes, but don't we usually as a board
So
talk
we were
about
gonna
it
call a
first?
special board meeting to just post an ad?
When you're hired, you're going out for something, you go, the board usually says,
So we're gonna start following rules now?
okay, you want to talk about rules? I have some questions about this, so.
I thought we were talking about roads, that's what's on our agenda.
Exactly. And this is why I call the Wisconsin Towns Association. Here's my questions. The questions started out. I'll get the right paper.
So we came here to talk about a road and base courses. Now we're gonna hash out your grievances up there? That's what we're gonna do now?
This is a board meeting.
Well, we did, first of all, okay, the first question was, was, don't we have to have a town board vote at a properly noticed board meeting? And here's the answer.
In regard to what?
Read the whole question, please.
Well, I gotta find it
In order to ask for a contract or do some repair. The rest of the board would like to know.
To do some repair?
Whatever.
So when Pat went out and put gravel on a road,
Don't
it wasn't
split
an
the
issue.
hairs, Madam Chair.
I'm not splitting hairs, I'm saying it's road maintenance. That's all this was, is road maintenance.
Okay, so my question, do modifications to town roads require town board approval through a motion of the town board? General maintenance and repair such as patching, adding more gravel, etc. does not require board approval, but substantive changes such as changing the road material would require board approval. Is that correct? Her response: any and all decisions about road work require a town board vote at a properly noticed board meeting,
So we can't-
regardless of whether the project is for maintenance and repair. The
Okay.
only exception to this requirement is that we have documentation that the board has previously voted to delegate that decision-making authority about a specific issue to one particular official. Now, that when you were in charge of the road,
Yeah,
and so the board needs to make approval, whether it is maintenance, repair, whatever is going to be done on the road.
so when somebody has to have their culvert looked at, we have to have board approval?
Did I say anything about?
What about potholes? I mean, you're saying you want me to come back with everything possible.
You have to have board approval if you're going to be changing the material on a road.
Okay, I understand that. But you're talking about filling potholes and putting gravel on roads, which we have never come to
And
the board for
that is
approval.
that's major maintenance and repair. When you're changing
Then
that,
what road was it down here?
I'm not going to argue with the attorney. I'm telling you what the attorney wrote.
Okay, we understand that, but I'm asking you a question. Which one was it? Weeping Willow? That was never brought to the board. They put it back to gravel and that was it.
Who did?
Was
You were
it
chair at the time, I think.
I don't remember.
I mean, you want to change
I
the
remember
rules in
that
the
when you did
street.
it
What one
That's
was it?
fine. Weeping Willow.
2 years ago.
But we voted on it, we talked about
No, you didn't.
No, we did not.
Never happened.
it. Is that occur? I don't know. I don't know. But we're talking about today. And we're talking because we've got so many roads and so much bad roads that we need to do it right. We need to follow the law.
No.
Okay, the town chair. About the town, the question about the town chair was, is the town chair unilaterally able to contract with anyone?
No. That would be a no. Any contract
Okay,
have to be.
okay. Who made the contract with Tufta?
There really isn't a contract. It was just for road maintenance. For
You
bringing
get
in-
each, so here, it's road maintenance, it's major road maintenance. You must
No
have,
work done.
oh my God.
Well, the point is being, you're taking off base course that's there.
Which is really garbage.
Yeah,
I mean, it is.
Why not?
Where was?
Not big, well, no, we wouldn't be taking base course off of there, we would be taking off that chip seal.
And what were we gonna do with that?
Well, I was gonna put it, store it, so, because Glenn said use it for base course on, like on Adamar.
Really?
Well, that's what he
You're gonna
said.
take base course, call it base course, off one road and put it on another? That does not make any
No,
sense.
you're not using it as base course, don't confuse the issue. When you take that chip seal off, what if you do put the drain tile in Hanover, you can use that underneath. It's not the base course, it would be underneath, over the top of the drain tile and the sub-base that's there, and then you put the base course over the top of that. You're actually saving yourself money by reusing that chip seal you're taking off of that road.
Using it as a base.
Right. But it's underneath the base course itself.
Because he said there's no sense in throwing it away if you can use it on future roads.
Well, why wouldn't it be just make more sense? I don't know. I figured we did some figuring and
Who's we?
Me and John did the figuring while I asked him to do the figuring. So
And what?
John figured it. About the cost of what, here, that it would be. So it cost, the cost of, where was that one? What did I say it was, John, that I got?
Cost of
The
what?
cost of
So
the chip seal for McKenna.
Carolyn contacted me and asked me how much we paid to chip seal McKenna.
But we didn't pay for that.
Well, we initially,
And McKenna's
We got the initial bid.
over twice as long.
We got the-
so, no, I'm sorry, I scooped it up on the response. She asked about Marsh Road, I talked about McKenna. I used the word McKenna, but it was for Marsh Road. Marsh Road is 200
That's what I asked for.
200 feet shorter than Sawyer Creek.
Okay.
So I told her that we paid $32,199.55 to chip seal Marsh Road. And I also told her that Sawyer Creek is approximately 200 feet longer than Marsh Road, but it is the same width. So if the prices haven't increased, we could reasonably estimate that the cost to chip seal Sawyer Creek would be $35,000. If prices have increased, for example, 5%, we would expect the total to be closer to $37,000.
Did you really look at what you think you looked at, John? Marsh Road is longer
It's a
That's
mile.
what he
than
said.
Sawyer Creek,
Way longer.
but
Marsh
Sawyer
Road,
Creek
Marsh is
has
a
half
mile,
of it
wasn't
in
it?
blacktop right now. So it would not be.
I just did the
I
whole
understand
road,
what you're
yeah.
saying.
I was just,
No,
I was-
no, wait a minute.
A lot more
So
than that.
Marsh Road,
Marsh Road came in a lot more than that. More than 33,000. That's what McKenna was.
you gave me the figures for McKenna, I thought, John.
yeah, that could be done. I might have made a mistake.
Yes, I asked you for Marsh Road and
And
you
then
gave
Marsh
me
came
McKenna.
to right around 90,000.
The whole point, ladies and gentlemen, is that there's a lot of them in the township. Chip seal, blacktop. I told you how many years ago?
Here we go.
Here it is. Yes, here it is.
Well, here we go.
Well,
This
try
is
to
what we're
no
here.
way.
Okay, come on. This is what we're here to talk about.
I did it.
Why-
Oh, really, George? Yeah.
Yeah, we're sick of hearing about the mill rate. We
Okay,
know
so
all
we're
that.
getting sick of hearing about why the hell don't we have any money for our roads? And we're trying to figure out how we can do all
Let me
this.
say something.
We're not
If-
gonna
No,
Well, I'm going to.
If
If
you
the
don't-
three
if you don't
stooges
have
would
a
have come up with this Black Rock
call
idea,
whatever.
that would have been the greatest thing since toilet paper and canned peas. And you guys, all three of you know that. Your whole deal is to undermine the current chairman.
John, one more outburst and I want the cops called.
Oh, geez.
Don't go there.
Yeah, get Bauer on it.
No,
He's gonna have-
we're here to try and make some decent decisions. People do
Like
not
what?
need to come
Now,
and
we've already
have this.
talked, we have already talked that the highway committee is putting together a plan. Okay?
Right, but
And they
we're
said-
talking about what was proposed for right now.
If you don't want to do it, then we won't do it.
I'll move that we wait until the highway committee comes forward with a complete plan
Okay.
for all the dead ends, all the chip seals,
Mhm.
and Galvin and Stott Avenue. How's that?
Melvin and Scott, I thought we got grants out for them. There's,
Put them on a priority list then. I haven't seen it.
See what?
A priority list. Capital improvement, for the roads. We don't have a capital
What we
improvement
did
for.
have, but we didn't, what we were trying to do was put
Excuse
something
me?
together. Yes, we did have through 2026.
Let me ask a question.
Yes.
If the highway committee comes forward with a plan like that, is the next administration gonna follow that, or are they just gonna throw it out like the last one?
That's what they did 10, 12 years ago. They threw it out.
That's what I'm asking.
Well,
If the highway committee does this for you, in a year when somebody else is sitting up there, are you just gonna throw it out and say we're not gonna follow that? Why should the highway committee waste their time if you're just gonna throw it out and not follow it anyway?
why should the board waste their time?
Oh, my.
Because I get calls from the individuals that are, that have that chip seal. The normal chip seal life cycle is 5 to 7 years. Am I correct?
That's
You can get up to 15 or longer if you treat them right. But you have to do the right maintenance on them. Which means at that 7-year mark, if you don't re-chip seal over that double chip, it's gonna fall apart.
Okay,
So somebody
you're
years
making
ago
my
didn't do the
You're
job.
saying exactly what we're
You're
talking
making my
about.
point. So here, what do we do?
What do you do?
What do you do?
Okay,
Yes.
let's let him talk first here before I
Okay.
say something else.
Go ahead, Steve.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Steve Drock. I live on Schroyer Creek Road, a couple months shy of 50 years. So we've seen that road through
No.
everything you can imagine. Years ago, when I was on the board as chairman, we did in fact have a highway committee, a recommended list of priorities. I've not been complaining about our road publicly. I complain to myself every time I drive on it. We have for years. But I always thought the town knows what they're doing, they're budgeting, they have X amount of dollars put aside for road upgrades and maintenance, repairs, those kinds of issues. And when our road filters to the surface, to the top of that list, it'll get redone the way it currently should be. I would wager that each one of you feel like one of your main responsibilities and charges as an official is to maintain and enhance the assets for the town of McMillan that increase and promote our quality of life. We love it here. Always have, always will. But when you look at the assets, we have many of them, buildings and grounds, fire department, equipment, all that kind of stuff. But I would argue that if you looked at an accounting list, balance sheet, if you will, the hard surface roads in McMillan are probably one of the top, if not the top, valued asset in the township. So when I hear that, well, we don't have enough money, I can appreciate that in lieu of Man Road and that big expenditure and everything going on there. And I know that money's always tight. But I would also submit that there's more to quality of life in the town of McMillan than just the absolute lowest mill rate we can maintain year after year after year. Now, I'm not in favor of a situation like they've got in Dalton, Illinois, where spending is just bonkers. But to me, it seems like when you take away a hard surfaced asset on our road and replace it with gravel, regardless of what you want to call it, gravel by any other name is still gravel, compared to a hard surface road. That is removing an asset from me, from my property saleability in the future. Whether or not there's all kinds of arguments that can be made for, does it pack, does it do this, does it do that, does it, I'm as concerned about the process and about the quality product in relationship to cost and price and timing as well. Yes, it would be wonderful to have something done yet this summer. I think that's being very short-sighted. I'd rather see it continue to be patched, patch the patches that have been patched 20 times already, than to strip that all off, put down whatever you want to call it in the way of crushed rock, gravel, whatever, without a commitment as to what's next. Because with all due respect, my heart tells me once we're back to gravel, look out 10 years, here we come. How do we know when and if somebody's going to decide, well, that's not working, so now we decide we're going to hard surface it? There are reasons why the board decided years ago these roads should be hard surfaced. And I don't think those reasons have changed at all, a whole lot over the years. I would ask the board to please not put down anything until there's been enough research done, enough public comment put in, a commitment to budget for it as best you can. I realize that's subject to voter approval at the hearing and all that. You can't guarantee that, but you can guarantee your position to fight for keeping those roads the way they are, the way they have been, and the way they should be, instead of succumbing to the squeaky wheel getting the grease, the quickest, the cheapest response we can do to get it taken care of. Because I don't believe that that's going to silence any squeaky wheel. In fact, it's going to increase the numbers of the squeaky wheels who feel like I do. You're taking something away, giving me an inferior product without any idea of how that might be corrected in the future. Please take a long, hard look at what options there are, what considerations need to be made and taken. How long does it take to get something budgeted? And to do it all at one time, do it right, have a project that'll supply the needs for many years to come. In my life and my business, I've gone a long time believing buy right, cry once. I bought too many tools, too much equipment in my early days for the bottom dollar. And every time I used it, I end up cursing at it because it would rip my knuckles or it would slip off, or you know the rule, you guys have all had that. So let's not do that. Let's buy right, cry once, and not succumb to that slippery slope where we use things until they're used up and we don't have the funds to replace what should be there.
Thank you.
Now, Steve, you and I talked about this, and I said I had applied for the grant this spring. That was for total reconstruction of that road and to blacktop it, okay? We did not get the grant. Then you guys said, this is a safety issue. So now it's our job to make sure that road is safe.
Correct.
And there's all of them.
And
Exactly.
that's.
So, do we do something now? You wanna leave it the way it is? Well, if it's a safety issue, who has liability on that one? We do.
The point being, and Steve, thank you very much, and that's the point of why I thought this needed to be brought up and talked about. We have a chair that has already made the arrangements to have this done,
For
and the
safety
board
reasons.
has not, at our last board meeting, I asked you, I said, is this company not going to come and talk to us?
No, you
Tell
didn't.
us about, yes, I did I not? I said this, and I said, and so, I did say it, exactly, I said that. I said, when we need to know, I said, is this stuff gonna be put in there to fill the potholes? We don't really understand this. That's what I said, and then I said, and what's it gonna cost? And you said, I have no idea. That's what you said to me exactly. So, okay, so here I am. I wanna know. I wanna know what this product is. I think that, I think now we have an idea. I went and looked at the one project that has been done that we're aware of, and I was not impressed. I'm sorry, tell Glenn I'm sorry. But I really was not impressed, and because when I see potholes and what have you, and this is what we're dealing with right now. My concern is that we do not put a Band-Aid on something. We need to very carefully do each road as it needs to be done, needs to be addressed.
Well,
Figure
then-
out how we're gonna do it.
So
But
then-
have a board discussion about it.
Okay, I have a question for you. So now you wanna chip seal that road, am I correct? That's what you're looking at, correct?
How long has that been in there, Steve?
22 years.
Okay, there you go.
I
Why not
I
dig it
asked you a
up?
question. This is what I'm asking you. Do you wanna chip seal that road? Is that what you're looking at?
I think we need to look at what the cost is to grind up what they have. Don't you under with chip seal, isn't that what they did over in Marsh? They ground that all up, packed it down, and
Put
put
base
new chip seal on it.
Oh,
Now
they
that
put more
should.
than that on it.
Put more than that
Oh,
on.
yes, they did.
Well, I know they put, I don't know what all they put on it. But why would we not consider doing that and do that correctly on every one of these roads that have the high priority of need?
Good thinking. Now, you need to listen. Listen carefully.
I know what you're gonna say.
You need to start somewhere. So start with this road, and yeah, this may be a new product. So you take off that chip seal that's on there, you put this product down at 4 inches. If you can get by with 4 inches, which is gonna save you money in the long run, you can chip seal over and it works. You just saved a ton of money. If it doesn't work and you have to put another 4 inches of base course over the top of it to chip seal, you're not out any money.
So really, instead of just redoing the chip seal,
You can't just redo that chip seal.
well, I know there's other things that have to be done, but that if this chip seal has lasted 23 years,
Well,
why
no.
are we not considering?
It hasn't lasted that long. It hasn't.
Well, or whatever. No, I don't know how long, but I'm telling you, and that if it's lasted, why would you not do it just the same?
Because you have a crap road underneath it. That's why.
Well, then you fit, but
It needs to
well,
be
then you
reconstructed.
address that.
And I tried to when I applied for the grant. That's when I had the engineer down there, and he said that whole road should be totally reconstructed. He said it's terrible.
You say reconstruct the part, or is it good enough to pulverize the whole thing after you put a lift on?
He said dig it out.
Well, that's.
Dig it out, put new breaker run in, just like we're doing Man right now. That's exactly what he said.
It's all clay.
Yeah.
You're in a marsh.
I understand that, just like the Arlen Man Road.
Yeah, I know.
So do you pass up a dollar to pick up a nickel in the ground, is what I'm trying to say? Or do you do it right the first?
Do it right from
Do
the
it
very
right the first,
beginning.
as Steve alluded to, and get a.
No, I know, don't shake your head, Mr. Barnbach. We've also been involved, I know you were with the highway
We'll
department.
call the cops on you. Talk to
I'm
Bauer.
not kidding, George.
I ain't need to talk to Bauer, he's got it on speed dial. Your son. Well, there you are.
This isn't funny, this is serious.
Well, grow up for Christ's sake.
So what do you want to do with that road then? Absolutely nothing this year, because what you're talking, we can't afford at this point. Because we don't know what man is gonna come in at completely.
The thing is, that actually does bring up the good point. We actually don't know what man's gonna bring up, so we don't know if we have the money to do.
Exactly.
To do this project, to do,
Yeah,
to put the
well-
black on. And for it, well, the only thing is you're saying how
But
much
where do you-
reconstruction, you're saying how much reconstruction needs to be done to that. If we're only putting 4 inches on in the spring, when the clay decides that it's gonna push to the top, it's gonna push some of that 4 inches away, and then someone's gonna have to go there and they're gonna have to grade that. So now it's gonna drag that yellow clay over your black, and is it gonna look like anything? And then, I guess the next question that I do have is, what pit is this coming out of?
Dewey Pit, down by Lake Debate.
Okay,
My question is,
So it
if
isn't that
that
far away.
road is so terrible that the whole thing has to be redone, which happens to be just over a quarter mile, why did the prior chip seal last as long as it did?
Good point.
It was about on its last legs before there was a lot of construction activity and a lot of dump truck traffic and a lot of heavy equipment spinning tracked wheels, if you will, the tracks on that. I mean, I don't know, I'm not a road engineer, but I've never experienced any heaving, any soft spots, anything really
We were told that there's
indicative
soft spots that have to
of
be dug out, weren't we?
mud.
that's
clay
what I heard down
pumping
by
up.
the mailboxes or whatever, there's a soft spot there. that needs
Yeah,
be
there's
dug
supposed
out?
to be
That
soft spots.
was, that,
Or was that done already?
that was because when a home was built, it was bedrock. They had to drill and blast to get a basement. All that material was trucked down to where those mailboxes are, made a sharp right, up and dumped on their property, back off the road. And when you've got those 16-yard trucks or whatever they are, loaded down with rock, pounding that, making that same tight bend all the time, and then bringing some from the other direction later on for another construction project. To my way of thinking, that was as much the demise of that road as age or anything else.
Steve, does that mean then when you get your property, nobody else gets to buy land near you? Because they're gonna come in and build a house, and they're gonna have to bring in equipment, they're gonna have to bring in diggers, they're gonna have to bring in cement trucks.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
I mean,
All I'm saying
No,
is that what broke up that
we don't
portion.
wanna be pointing fingers at because somebody else built a house next to yours.
We're talking about why the road is broken up in front of the mailboxes. All I'm saying is that because trucks turn there.
They're not designed for the bigger equipment that we are now running. The day you had your shop there, you probably had 3/4 ton trucks coming in, and now, I mean, it changes.
Okay, discussion later.
I move that the highway committee come forward with a proposal on what's gonna be done.
Need a second?
No.
We need a second.
I'll second that for discussion.
Okay. Any discussion?
I think that if we have issues in roads that need to be attended to, we need to do what we can possibly do to make this, I mean, we can't just, we've got to have a priority list or something, because, okay, you can't tell me that, well, now, how do we pick the first one? Because they're all bad. So we're gonna have to start down the road, down the line, and figure out what it is we wanna do. Now, is this the way to do this? I have no idea. I have no idea. I do know, what I know is that what has been there in the past has worked. Now, do you want us to try to do something else? I'm not against whatever we do, but we need to get this discussed and figure out what is the right thing that we all agree with that we need to get done. That's what we're here for. We're here, and so, yes, but there was no discussion about this before. There was not. That's why I asked for this special meeting. I want to know.
The other point I'd like to bring up is, if you get a group of roads and you contract for chip sealing, it'd be more economical to do a whole bunch, because moving equipment is not inexpensive. Are you just gonna do a quarter mile? Bring in all that stuff, take it out? Or would you get a better bang for your buck if you had a group in the township? And we've done that before. When we chip sealed, they brought all the rock to the parking lot out here.
Just like when they did McKenna and Marsh.
My point exactly. So you get more bang for the buck. That's all I'm looking for.
But you need a starting place.
Well,
Which that's what our highway committee was working on. What they did was, I believe you went through the road ratings and took the ones. Those are our worst roads. You know, they're rated a 1. They're crap. Sawyer Creek is one of them, yours is another. So those would be priority. Those would be looking at them first.
What it says here is Hadamar, Shore Creek, and Roman.
Well, what do you guys got? Yes.
I'd just like to go on record, I live on Gary Road,
Uh-huh.
and I was chip sealed when we did the last chip seal.
Mm-hmm.
It was in pretty decent shape. I come home one day, Yogi's got half the road all graded up. Somebody made a decision to turn it to gravel. I stopped them before they got it all done. The part that isn't done is still in good enough shape.
Mm-hmm.
It's in great shape. There's hardly any potholes on it. God damn it, the other half is all gravel. And there's absolutely no plan to change that. I had a good road at one.
Yeah.
Or didn't vote on that, did they?
No.
Just went out and did it.
They just went out and did it, exactly.
That road was in better shape as pothole, pea gravel road than it is now as gravel. I got grid the goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Here, are you from Hadamar?
No.
There you
No.
go.
He's right down here.
These other gentlemen are where you from? What road?
Us two,
Uh-huh.
we live on Roman Road.
You live on Roman Road,
Correct.
on the upper part?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. So, in selling tickets for the Fall Fest, I was told that the word out is that all of Roman Road is gonna be turned back to gravel.
Well, you heard wrong.
Well, I
talked to Pat, and I asked him what he thought of putting just the end piece that's all busted to hell right before the blacktop
Yeah,
up there,
yeah.
putting that back to gravel, and he agreed with me 100%. He said, let's wait until after Schaefer's get done putting their hay in, so we're not in their way.
Do the bylaws dictate that you can change asphalt or it's chip sealed back to gravel?
The board can make that decision,
Make
yes.
that decision?
But that was never even thought of,
Okay.
so I don't know where that's coming from.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Anyway, the thing is that we have these horrible roads. We need to do something. But I want, before we do this stuff, I want us all to have a conversation about and go through. You have the road committee. The road committee has not said one word to the board as a total about what your plans are. I don't know that. I don't even know who was on the road committee. I don't even know that.
That's on you.
It is not. We know.
That's on her.
Oh, come
That's on
on,
you.
you were at the meeting.
I know who the guys are. I stayed
It's
on
been
the
the
board.
same ones for years. There's Jim Schaefer, there's Paul Mansell, there's Butch Ortell, there's Gary Franz, and who else was the other one?
Kurt.
Yeah, Kurt.
Sitting right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Kurt. I'm sorry, Kurt.
Okay, so we
you
have
got
a road
five members.
committee. Do you have a priority list? You have not done that?
We're working on it. It takes a long time to get all this
Well,
stuff
we need
in order.
to, we can't,
Great,
we're not
I just
gonna do
started on the
anything
highway
for
committee
extra
this
this
year. You know how long it
It's not
took me
gonna
to
happen,
put one
Joe.
together for
There's
the
no money
city?
for it. Anyway,
It takes a
that
long
project,
time.
right.
It's not just overnight you get that done.
I understand that. That's why it'd be a good idea
You
for the
wanna
board to
start
talk
paying
about
for
it.
this stuff? I'll do it in a week
been
if
busting
you
their
start
ass
paying
working
me.
on
This
this.
stuff ain't fun.
Well, I know that, and I appreciate
You
that.
sure don't look like it, because they have been working so diligently.
I'm not
on this.
saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying whatever they come up with is fine. I'm not, but bring it to the board. At the last board meeting, we were told that this is what was gonna be done.
Which was just maintenance.
It doesn't matter. Even maintenance has
But
to
it
be
has never
approved by
been
the
that
board.
way before. And now you want to change the rules, and that's fine.
I'm reading
I
the
will
law.
bring you every pothole you want.
I know, that's maintenance, you're doing maintenance and repair. And that is the law. That's the law. And so therefore, that was not presented to us. I don't think that's asking too much to have the information presented to us.
Kevin?
So I'm actually gonna say I've had the pleasure of sitting up there, 2 different terms under 2 different chairs, 3 chairs. It seems like the highway committee comes and goes, depending upon who's up there. We can talk about history way in the past, we can bring up Dave's point with the mill rate. We can go back further when we were being overtaxed for the sinking fund for the building when it was not legal at that time, and that's what stemmed all that. The rolling eyes, you know what we're talking about. To just, let's look at the budgets the last, 10 years, how much money was carried over, how much money was actually spent on the roads, what projects got done, what stuff didn't. We have not been aggressive as a board, and years back it was set up for blacktopping, we wanted to blacktop. Chip seal is a great thing if the base is done right. So Roman Road was one of the first roads in the township done, correct? It was done before you moved out here.
Before you moved out here, not me.
Two maintenance, born out here. It's got 2 maintenances, I think, that were done on it as a chip. The surface, for the most part of Roman, is good. So you get to the bottom side where that had to get dug up and put drain tile in. I said something to Deb once about it should just get ripped up like up here and put back to gravel. Or you can get recycled crushed blacktop from Nikolai or whatever to put down. I know in some of the roads in Wood County that we're working on, Puff Creek we just did, that thing was pulverized last year and let sit and you couldn't even hardly touch it with a grader. If it wasn't shaped right away, it's pretty well to shape it and maintain it. It got packed down in the 1 year and Crowley could not move it to shape it. So if you're gonna do stuff in the highway committee, it's a big task. Whether you do road by road, or right now you just get in and take care of the patch stuff. I loaded pack a lot of times in the morning with the patch to come out, and whether it was Man Road or Roman or all these other spots. If it's a bad spot, then cut the bad spot out, put something in it for now. You can't, there's not money to do everything. But again, if we want to look at how much money we've had left over in the budgets in the last couple of years and where money goes, we've done shit with Prairie roads, other than a couple of projects. I don't think this road is that bad out here. I would chip seal this, I wouldn't put any more tar on this, a couple of spots you might have to do something with.
What was our mill rate, 15, 20 years ago?
Oh, Jesus Christ, what difference does it make anymore?
Oh
my God,
doesn't know,
I don't know that I have the mill rate.
Madam Chair,
Well, for crying out loud.
Madam Chair,
But if you're gonna ask that, Dave, then you gotta look at equalized valuation and assessments and everything else.
and the other thing that,
You always bring up the mill rate. Yes, money was slashed. But it was
slashed, yes,
slashed for a reason, because of what the building or the so-called sinking fund was.
well, we were trying to put money away to.
The residents were not told that. At that time when that was happening, that was illegal in the state of Wisconsin, that changed over that the townships can carry over a reasonable amount of money after that. At that time, it was not designated for a specific project, and that's when we had the open house and there was all of a sudden a plan, but it was never discussed at a board meeting. People hated it. We're overtaxed, moved out of township, never got a bang for their buck.
Okay, so going back to my point, aren't we all in agreement that the roads are crappy in the whole township?
Jeez, that's the rest of the.
And so,
Yes, but whether
So we need
Deputy maintains chair next year, or you run for chair, or Rock runs for chair, when you're chair, then make sure the highway committee stays on and you take their advice and you follow it. Because when you became chair, did you have the highway committee?
yes, I got that committee started with Paul Mansell, Jim, and Jim, what's his name? You know, they're all, I started that committee. Yes, and we worked very closely, and we listened to them.
Maybe the first year, but when I sat up here with both of you as chair, there was no committee, there was no.
Oh, no, that's not right, that's correct, incorrect. Anyway, that's a moot point at this point. The point is, that we've got to make a decision here, and we can't do it one person unilaterally. It's got to be the committee needs to work, and we need to, all of us need to know what you guys are going after, what you're doing. We've got to, I have no idea, I know that we've got all these crappy roads. We need to get started on getting it done, and let's start with one. So I guess the one that was decided on was to do Sawyer Creek. And so when I had questions about it, there was no, I didn't get any answers, because I didn't know what this product looked like. Dave didn't know. I don't know about you, Rod. Nicole, did you go down and drive down Range Line Road? We didn't know. We didn't know what this was about. We are here as a board, and we're here to try and help do what we can do the best for the community. That's the goal. And we're in a mess, and we've got to get this figured out. We've got this huge project this year over there on Man. But then everything else is going to pot. So we've got to get on top of this, and that's my...
We're not gonna do anything this year until we know what the cost of man is gonna be when the final project is done.
But you
We
were
don't
going to
know.
do it, you had it set up for them to come in on Monday to bring the material. That's my
That wasn't
point.
the chip seal, that was just for maintenance, to put some gravel on it to make it a safe road. That should be the objective.
They're bringing in the material on the 26th, that's
Yeah.
what they said.
Yeah.
So to me, you're gonna, and you
And you
get
don't
on
want
that.
it. And we can't even take the chip seal off, because we don't have anybody that can run a grader.
Yeah, but you.
That's where we're at.
I understand that.
And Pat had agreed she was gonna go and take that off of there, that chip seal, and then he quit. Okay? That's where we were at. That was when I had went and talked to
Okay,
Glenn.
all right, so that's why we got put into this situation.
Exactly.
So now, you were talking about doing this now. You made that decision. The board was not included in that. And maintenance and repairs does need to come before the board.
When you were chair, did you follow exactly what you're saying right now?
Of course,
Yes or
That's
no?
what I'm trying to do, is
Okay,
get
from
this
this
done.
point forward, point taken, when you were chair or anybody else was chair, did you follow what you were citing as the laws right now?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, I've always done it.
You're right.
Okay, all right. I have to.
All right, where we are at right now is we have a motion on the table. We have a second for the highway committee to bring something forward to the board. So we need to vote on that.
Yeah,
Roll call,
so the
John.
motion that I have written down is to wait for the highway committee to come forward with a plan for all the dead ends as well as Galvin and Stott.
Why are we stopping with the dead ends in Galvin and Stott? Why not the whole damn township?
Yeah, that's, I mean, that's what they were working on.
What's your
If we're gonna
timeline,
work on
Kurt?
it,
Kurt, what's your timeline? Huh?
if you're gonna look at just the dead ends and the, you know, just a little piece, then it's not worth even doing it.
Well, you gotta-
If that's all
it's
you
not
want,
looking at the whole
is two
township.
roads
That's what
and
they're
and
looking
a
at.
bunch of dead ends, it's
They're
not even
looking
worth
at
coming out
what
with
is
a
the
plan.
one- gravel.
My question was, what is your timeline for the whole township?
For the whole township?
Yeah.
I can
Is
tell you.
that too
I did
much to
180
ask?
I can tell you, I did 185 miles worth of roads, 185 straight miles worth of roads in 3 years. It took 3 years to come up with that plan. How many miles of
different
roads
city
does
than it
the
is
township
the
have?
country.
55.
53, so you're talking about a year to get the whole plan put together.
That's not 55 miles of hard surface.
Correct.
No, but he's talking about
I'm talking every
maintenance on
road,
gravel,
every road.
chip
Every
seal.
road.
Yeah, every road in the township. That's what we're looking at.
Or are you gonna, well, that's a question. I guess nobody can-
That goes with, from square one, you need to do this, plus you need to do this follow-up maintenance on it, however many years. It's the whole picture, not just fix this road and you're done with it.
Right, because then the next squeaky wheel gets the grease, right?
No, it's not based on squeaky wheel, it's based on your pavement ratings and what you have to do to get it right. You don't know what I know, because your road would be the next one on the list, believe it or
I'm
not.
just saying, I want.
But I haven't
everybody
seen
else-
the condition of every road.
We just need to make some decisions. So.
It's gonna take a while to get it done. It's not gonna be done tomorrow. It's not gonna be done in 3 months. It's gonna take some time.
Is there a way to get a starting point to where we can look at something for next year?
What do you wanna look at? Do
Um,
you wanna look at your chip sealed roads that need to be redone? Yeah, I can do that in probably 2 months.
okay. So we
But
have
if you want
something.
the big picture,
That'll have to be
it's
next.
gonna take a
Well,
while.
that's, yeah, there's not anything we're gonna be doing until next year.
So, we're supposed to prepare a budget for presentation. We can put some numbers in there. But there's always gonna be somebody that's gonna question the numbers for this or for that.
Right.
So how do we handle that? We as a board handle that?
Hell no, that's your problem. You asked for a plan. You asked for a plan. The numbers are your problem. If I say Elm Tree Road up here needs to be done first, but you don't have the money to do that, then you look on that plan and say, okay, Elm Tree Road is a mile, but this one's only a half mile, which is the next one down on the list. We can get that one done this year. Then you just switch them around, but you stick with the plan somewhat. That's what the plan is all about. It's a fluid plan.
I didn't fall off the turnip truck yesterday, despite.
We had a
questioning my-
plan, and I don't know what happened to them.
Well,
We had
that's
them. We
not
had
my
them.
problem at
So
this
where
point.
We had an updated
We
CIP
put-
like 3
We
years
didn't have
ago.
them. We can't find any of them.
If we put the numbers in and you go to a budget hearing, it gets shot down. 2, 3, 4 times that's happened. So then you go back and you take less money. And this is the result of that. That's my only point. That's my only point. My dad was on a highway committee 30 years ago. He
Okay,
was
so-
here, and that's why we got the blacktop to start with.
Dorothy?
I think at our last year, at the budget hearing, it was explained to all the people that came to it, Okay, everybody gets a piece of the pie. The last group that gets the last piece is the highway department. Our fire department took 10% more last year. That's the way it was.
That's the way it is every year. The highway department gets what's left over for maintenance. That's exactly how it works.
That's why they have the fall festival. There's been,
Oh, don't tell me about the millions.
Okay, all right, we're not going there. We're here to decide what we're gonna do.
Just so
We're not, we're
We
trying
got
to
a motion on the
make
table.
Yes.
Call for the question.
I'd like to,
You want to amend it?
I'd like to know what the timeline. Give us an idea.
What can you
Highway
come up
committee.
with for
Give us an
immediate?
idea.
Do you have anything for immediate that we need to do this next year that you would advise?
Sawyer Creek,
Yeah?
Hanover needs tile in it. Once you put the tile in Hanover, then you're gonna have to redo that one. So those are two already, and that's
And-
probably gonna be the end of your money.
Probably, yeah,
But that's
Third
why,
one will be the end of the elm tree out here.
yeah.
Those three right up there in the top of it, right?
So there,
You don't have enough money to do all three of those.
so which one's number one?
Right now, it's Sawyer Creek. Now, you could hold off on Hanover a year by not putting the tile in, but even if you do.
It has
Elm
tile
Tree,
in it.
even-
Well, can't find it.
You can't find
Can't
it?
find it, it's probably not,
Okay, well, it's in
probably
there.
not functioning.
It's not
Okay.
functioning, it's not
Okay.
working.
That's the other problem. Yeah. We were out
Okay,
there.
so
We
why
couldn't
can't we
find it.
start with that?
You
With
just said
Hanamar?
we did.
With Hanamar is a 5 rating on Whistler,
It's for
isn't it?
next year, not this year, because nothing was approved for this year, nothing.
Man was.
Man Road, but not,
I think that's a
not
big
any of
one.
this other. That is the point.
Well, there is no extra to do the other when you got 1,000,006 projects sitting
Okay,
there.
how are you gonna pay for this then? If there's no
It would be
money.
about 12 grand. Well, that's not all of it, you know that. You gotta add engineering costs on there, your culverts are all on there, and we don't know what any extra.
We paid some of that already, correct?
Yeah, but that's still part of the project.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so here, the thing is, are we gonna go along with this product? Are we gonna go along with this and do it this year? That's the question.
That's not the motion on the table.
Okay, so we're, the first question.
John,
But
can
that-
you
that's
reread the
what-
motion in case people want to amend his motion or change the wording on it?
Motion to wait for the highway committee to come forward with a plan for all the dead ends as well as Galvin and Stock.
Change that all. Prioritize.
That's what I wrote down, so if I'm incorrect, you can correct my statement.
What do you want your motion to say?
I'm just wanted to tie some timeline to it. That way we know we're moving forward, not putting it on the back
Well,
burner.
they just gave you a list of 3 roads that we can work on this next year without having a full plan. I think, in my estimation of this, Sawyer Creek should be worked on first, then your road, because those are both rated 1s under Whistler, okay? Over on Hadamar, they're rated a 5.
No, I've got them listed as a 1.
They're a 1 also?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry, my mistake then.
that's okay. There's a lot of roads.
There's a lot of
I wouldn't expect
1s.
anyone to remember all the ratings for all the
Yeah,
roads.
I thought Hadamar was
Was
rated
yours
higher.
single chipped or double right away?
I believe that was doubled. And Pat has been down there with tons of stuff.
He's been on every road,
And
and it's been constant.
it's been constant. I wouldn't want to have shovels of tons he shoveled off on Man Road. To be very honest with you. And plus taking his life insurance there.
Well, that's done with now, because they're gonna be tearing it up, so you don't have to worry about that part of it. And he lived. Okay, are you gonna revise your motion, or is it as it stands?
I'd like it by the January, February. Is that possible, Kurt?
You know I am retired, right?
I'm supposed
I'm not working full-time for the town of McMillan.
I'm retired too, but
How
I'm
about-
not working full-time.
I feel that's a lot to ask of volunteers, just how he explained that it took him 3 years to do another project. He said a year.
But we have to have some.
Well, he just told us.
He just told us.
I just gave you 3 top candidates that are.
We're not
gonna
even
be
doing
on the damn list to
all of
work
them
on.
next year either, depending on cost of everything. So, I mean, you got 3 to start with. I think that's great. And it gives them time to work on the rest of it.
So do you want it to say that your request, the motion as read, and request preliminary results of,
As soon as
request preliminary results in January or February of 2025?
There you go. And who seconded that?
Rod,
Okay.
did you say you wanted a roll call vote?
Yeah, go
Okay.
for it.
Rod,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Carolyn,
Aye.
Deb.
Aye. All right, we're on mowing.
So the college and high school students that I had hired are now back to school and sports. So I am down to 1 person mowing.
And he's our part-time highway guy.
He also helps with the highway. So that means, what I'm letting everybody know is that I may need to hire another person to help in the event, how this year has been. We anticipated it to dry out. It's still wet. So, we're still
Thanks,
need
Todd.
Yep, you're welcome.
So that is my update, and I just wanted everyone to be aware of that.
Kurt said he's retired.
Come on, Kurt, might as well get you mowing lawn, you work on highway while you're out there.
I
and
can do
add
paperwork
pencil.
while I'm riding around the board.
There you go.
Do you want the minutes to reflect, to say you might need to hire, or we?
The board is gonna have to, she can't hire an employee.
No, but I can reach out for contracting if need be.
Yeah.
I can't have it look terrible. And if we're playing it by weather, and I only have part-time, and we're competing with the roads, I have to do what I have to do.
Any objection to any of that? Any discussion? I guess we need a motion. I'm taking care of mowing as seen fit.
So you're talking, if you can't find anybody, you're gonna contract with a.
I can't find anybody because I have to hire somebody for the board. We don't have another meeting till 2 weeks. I don't have anybody lined up at all. I put an ad in the newsletter, but that's the extent of it that I've done.
Nicole, is you pay whoever's gonna mow? Is it a paid position type of thing?
I can't expect somebody to do volunteer all the time.
Yeah, I was just asking.
Yeah.
I ain't volunteering. I seen how this
Hey.
previous board has treated volunteers. No way in hell.
But anyway, I guess you need a motion on being able to contract that if need be. Because I mean, we're talking towards the end of the year. We're not supposed to have any rain now for what, next 10 days? It should slow down.
It should, but
Yeah.
But you're gonna have to watch how you do the contract thing too, because we have our own mower finally.
we do.
Whether it's a contract, somebody brings their own equipment in, or they have used ours.
Mhm. Figure out the cheapest way
We have a meeting on 29th, right?
29.
to amend the budget.
Can you add that
Uh,
on?
no, that's all we wanted.
Well, she needs it.
If she
If
finds
If she
somebody.
needs it, yeah.
I may get calls by then, I don't know, but I just want everybody to be aware that I am in a pickle, so. That's where that stands.
All right, we need a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second? All in favor, say aye. Motion carried. Meeting's over.
Thanks for
I will close sometime to you back. Sometime next week. Well,
We need all of the expenses.
Yeah, I know, I was working on that.
I got all the parts.
I will have it.